Hey, good morning, Marana and Arizona.
Oro Valley.
Good morning, Oro Valley, Arizona. How you guys doing? Great to have you back. I'm here with my compadre, one of my partners in crime, David Samarano. I got a couple partners in crime.
Yeah, you got a list of them.
Yeah. Well, I've only got 2 or 3 partners in crime.
Coming fresh out of the director's box this morning.
Yeah.
After
you've been in there for what?
Running a session.
3.5, 4 hours.
It's always a good time.
Good show with Chris as always. Great segment with Mayor Post from Marana. Great stuff's happening. We're going to cover a little bit of that. Good event yesterday over at Reforma with Grant Kruger and the crew. That was great. I had never eaten there before, and I was really impressed with the food. Really impressed. The tamales. I'm usually not much of a tamale guy because there's not much to them, Those were awesome.
Yes.
The veggie and the chicken tamales were the best I've ever had.
Yeah, the veggie one blew me away. Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah. But as impressed as I was, and of course I've been to the facility before, there's other restaurants there, which is great. If you've never been there, St. Philip's Plaza, Campbell and River. Great time. The service, the staff was just on point.
On point.
And I told Grant, that's some of the best service I've had recently for sure. And I get good service at quite a few places, or I don't keep going back, obviously.
Yeah.
But man, those people, those young people that he had over, they were hustlers. The food was there on time. It was warm, but they were just like, I was going to the restroom and this young lady goes, that way. And I'm like, and big smile. So I'm like, is it on my face? She goes, yeah, you got that face. You're looking for the restroom. And I'm like, that's just so attentive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That somebody's that tuned in so I want to give a shout out to Chris for organizing it and Grant Kruger and his staff for really nailing it. Good time. I highly recommend Reforma.
Yeah. And Union, Grant.
Oh, the whole place.
Union and Reforma. We're looking to try that Proof place, the pizza place. I'm excited to try that. And then, of course, we recently learned that he is the owner of the Maverick. So I know a lot of folks that go there and do some dancing and have a good time.
Yeah, he's a good man. Good man. Wise man. You got to give props to him for all he's been able to accomplish in a tough environment, because restaurant business, come on, man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Especially in summertime, Arizona, that's tough. I think that's where we can kind of jump into some of the things we want to talk about today.
Yeah, let's do it.
Summer for parents and families with kids, it's over. School started last week, this week. College starts next week. It's over. Mm-hmm. Everybody left town.
Yep.
You could cruise up and down Ina with very little regard for traffic. I think that's over. Yesterday we had to come in. We had a little thing we had to deal with here, and Tammy's like, where's all this traffic? It was like 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning, 11:30, and it was just packed out there on I.
Hopefully it was the people doing the test drive to their new spot where they got to take the children, know. I think it was Nikki. She's one of the APs at Twin Peaks, K through 8, and she was saying that a good piece of advice is to go do a test drive of how long it takes to get from your house to your educational spot. Your kids, that way hey, when you're getting ready in the morning, you can do that. And then I was watching the Backseat Thriver girls. They were back for the first time in a little bit. They had a little vacation time. It was awesome. But they were talking about that buffer time. Like I think she said her husband put the clocks 10 minutes faster. So that gave them a buffer of like they need to get ready and move. So then they had that to work with.
That never worked for me.
Yeah.
I would just subtract. I just knew it was 10 minutes fast, so I'd keep it the way it is. But that's each to their own. Hey, that's another thing too, David. Part of what John was talking about this morning, Mayor Post, was as you grow, like we have in this whole region, especially Marana, traffic becomes a real issue, especially old, outdated intersections and stuff like Tangerine and the freeway, and use some alternatives. And we were with John last week over at Sunflower, and Vice Mayor Roxanne Ziegler. And that's some of the stuff he was talking about. And we encouraged him to keep talking about alternative routes. If you're, let's say you're on Cotero, which is a tough one right now. Excuse me. Quit just doing the same thing over and over. There are alternatives to what you're doing. Depending on where you live, you can use Twin Peaks. You completely avoid the track, the railroad. Use Ina. And maybe I shouldn't encourage people to come use this street more.
This road's fine.
But come on down here. You avoid, if you're on the east side, you shouldn't even get caught. I mean, the west side, you shouldn't get caught at all. Right. And I think John said that is like, if you're on the west side, shame on you, because there's too many alternatives. But the same is true on the east side of the tracks. If you live in Marana or Oral Valley and you're trying to get to I-10, there are other alternatives besides getting caught at Cotero, both coming into town, like in the evening traffic, or out of town in the morning when you're going to work. Try Twin Peaks. I asked Terry Rosema, town manager of Marana, who lives in Oral Valley, do you use Tangerine? And he said, no, he just uses Twin Peaks on a regular basis. That's his route to work.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to get stopped by the train, and you're not going to get stopped by any traffic on Tangerine because it's just smooth sailing.
And there's a great QT right there where you can gas up.
Yeah.
That's what we do, because our family lives up in Gilbert, and we often stop at that that QT at Twin Peaks and gas up and grab some snacks for the ride.
Yeah.
And it's easy. You don't have to worry about the chaos, because what always happens is, without fail, if you're trying to go westbound on the interstate from Cotero, somebody gets in that right lane and they're going straight, so they're stopped there instead of allowing folks to turn right. So you can't turn right. Then comes a train.
Same is true on now. Tangerine doesn't have that extra, but it's still the same.
Yeah.
The front car is going through, and the next 14 cars are going to make a right turn onto the freeway. And you just can't get through there. Now they are fixing that, but I made the mistake of getting off there the other day. Chris Collins and I were coming back from Phoenix, and it's just habit. You get off Tangerine because Tangerine's a road, and we got through it. We got through it pretty good. But they've just got, especially in front of the Maverick.
Yeah,
that's a mess. With all the semis coming and going.
Yeah,
that's tough. But you know what? There are alternatives, because here's the reality: Cotero, no matter what they do, is still a long ways away.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just move on from that whole idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the mayor has come out and said that the railroad's not participating. They don't want anything with any change. There's not going to be any funding from them to make anything happen. So it's like, focus on your other roads that you can make take paths into Marana. And talking about more on I-10, I think that's going to be
that's genius.
Yeah,
because you're getting ahead of the problem. And you're actually solving 3 problems with one move.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for folks to get in tune with the RTA, the Regional Transportation Authority, the RTA Next, and what comes from that, and how a lot of the infrastructure and roadway stuff comes from that, even in the Marana region. And there were some comments that Mayor John made during the last show with Chris before ours in regards to that. And if you weren't watching this morning, go back and watch that and check out what he's talking about on the RTA and how the future looks for it, and what are some things they're talking about doing. And I think it's just great to be in the know on that. It impacts this whole region,
right?
And it also talks about how people need to be civil and work through these problems together, and stop being so, needy in one way or expecting things in one way. So it's something to keep your eyes on, especially in the political sphere.
2 points about that too, David. Anyone, and it almost feel like a broken record at this point, but it's just a fact, and maybe we can help educate a few people, give them some information. The railroad is the king. If you're dealing with railroads, they don't have to do anything they don't want to do. No. And they don't.
No.
So Cotero being a good example, you have to have the blessing of the railroad before you can even put a shovel in the ground to make any kind of move. So that's number one. The railroad is king. They'll only do what they want to do, and they're reluctant to do anything. 2, the RTA, Marana specifically, gets more bang for their buck out of that fund than they put in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why if you live in Marana or Royal Valley and you're using the facility, the streets and roadways here, we're getting more bang for our buck than we're putting in, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's why, even though there's going to be a lot of controversy about this next year when the election rolls around, and there will be, there's going to be a lot of contention. You just can't get on it. Be respectful. Let's look at the big picture. And I can sit here myself right now and go on record saying we need to make this thing happen. The vote needs to happen for our region, because if we don't, we're going to be really think about
hurting.
it, David. 5 years, if this thing expires next year and we don't, as a populace, support this, imagine where we're going to be 5 years from now as the growth continues to come. Because it's more and more difficult every day to move around up here. We're like still not as bad as Phoenix, still not as bad as some of the major cities in the United States, but we're getting there in a smaller scale.
Yeah,
and so we need that to happen. There's been good value out of it. I've seen a lot of the good stuff that's happened over the last 20 years as far as transportation, but and that's not to say that there's not room for improvement or room for discussion. But at the end of the day, we need to come together as a population and a county, a region, and vote. Because this affects everybody. From here to Saurita, out to Vail, all the inner cities, this affects everybody kind of equally. So traffic's something that we have to, because we're growing like crazy. There's nothing we can do to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Drive through Marana at any time and look at all the new, not only businesses that are popping up, but look at all the new houses.
Yeah.
All those places, Ed, and I used to drive like last year, and we'd talk about 6,000 new homes. What's happening?
Are those houses selling right now, though?
I don't know if they're selling. I now, to change the subject, but to hit on that, I read over the weekend that the United States real estate market, the new builders, have 9 months of inventory. But I think, and I don't know, I'm just guessing, the answer to your question for Marana, I'm pretty sure they're going to sell.
Yeah.
Because same is true in Gilbert, same is true as Queen Creek, same is true in Chandler, same is true as anywhere in Arizona pretty much. Because I see a lot of houses going up and I don't see any of them sitting vacant, no matter where you travel. So I would say, because Arizona, I was checking, I don't have the numbers right in my head, but we're still, if not the fastest growing region in the country, we're like in the top. I think we're the fastest. I think Phoenix is.
Yeah, that place
the
is
fastest growing. It's like
insane.
Since I've been here, and I've been here since '89. I keep saying '88, but I actually didn't set foot in Arizona until '89. In Maricopa County, they have developed, and it has been now for 36 years, an acre an hour has been developed in Maricopa County from the time I got here. And I don't see any slowing down.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I was way out on the west side and then come through the bottom there. It's insane, David. And that was miles from where I was at. And my wife said, we're in the country. We're way out in the middle of nowhere. And it's literally miles from where we were at that they just keep developing. I'm not talking about, a 40-acre parcel. I'm talking about literally, a 20 square mile area that has developed in one spot of Maricopa County. Everybody wants to be here. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm not here by accident. I always tell people I'm not a native, but I got here as quick as I could.
Yeah.
And I love it here. So there's a reason people coming. But welcome back.
Do you think they come here for the heat?
Well, right now they're not digging it.
112 degrees it's supposed to be this week. What's going on? Okay, so things we've learned so far this year. The monsoon gave us a good 24 hours.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. We didn't get much out of this one so far.
It's like a one-night stand.
Now the cool thing is it hadn't until this week really been that hot. There were a couple little spots in there.
Yeah.
But now we're getting into that.
I saw the National Weather Service. They put a post out this weekend that was like trying to explain why their predictions haven't worked out. Yeah. It was going to be a little above average
Yeah.
as far as moisture and everything. And they're like, yeah, just up here, up in the Northwest, there's this low pressure that won't move. And so we're stuck.
We're
just
trapped.
We're trapped. It's not happening.
Trapped like rats down there until I always have from day one when I got here, I figured it out. From June till middle of October, it's just going to be hot.
Yeah.
135 days of just.
I just think about the
crazy heat
after that, though. When that first crisp breeze comes in October, when you're walking in the morning, that right there, you can open the windows.
Because let me ask you a question. Now there are plenty of people, and we've showed our expression of gratitude for them doing what they do. But how much time do you spend outside of air conditioning? In reality, most of your day is spent inside air conditioning. You're in a car
because we would die.
Yeah, well, roofers are up there, and although they
work particular hours,
and the governor gave them even earlier. Now I think they can start at 5 o'clock in the morning.
We'll get Daniel back in here to talk about, or Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, I know Tony's up on the roof a lot. So Tony's roofing. So
the roofers, yard people, they're outside in the heat. Of course, they're not on the roof. People crawling around in attics and places like that, working on air conditioners or home inspectors.
That's a different breed, man.
Because they'll show a temperature. I see Celia every now and then show the temperature inside an attic, 140.
It's insane.
Yeah. Of course, growing up in the Midwest with all the humidity, I've seen them do the same on the turf when they had turf at Busch Stadium. Mm-hmm. And it'd be 130, 140 degrees on the turf. Can you imagine?
Yeah, we had some practices out there in Missouri that this heat's better. Hey, I hate to say it. But
in 2 weeks, I'm going to be in that.
Yeah. Oof.
2 weeks.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, now that I think about it,
I'll be sitting right now. I'll be sitting behind home plate with my buddy Craig.
Flip side though, during that hot season, every once in a while it would cool down a lot. I mean, we're talking like 80s.
But the humidity's 80s, so what difference does it make?
Yeah, well,
get to 70s,
You got to wear a certain kind of clothing for that. So.
Yeah, none.
But hey, fall's coming, and
that's the best part.
Yeah, we had a great opportunity to sit down with Coach Stewart of the Marana high school football team, which is coming off of a region championship again. And they had a run at the Open 8. And we covered some important things like the playoff structure going into this year and how the AIA changed it. And that only 6A teams are going to be able to go into the Open tournament just because what was completely visible, I would say, and obvious was the fact that the rosters and the depth and the scale of the differences of the school size and the population really did show. And so the Tigers are still in 5A, and they're going to be in there the whole time this year, throughout the season, through the playoffs, and it's going to be an exciting year. Coach is very pumped about what he has a lot of people returning. Yeah. And that was something we talked about. There was a lot of juniors on the team last year. The seniors before that really set the bar. The Desmond Roebuck, he's out in Washington already turning heads.
Yeah.
You got coaches talking about you third day. And and that, I mean, people from here are not surprised by that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just from the ones that went and saw him in action at the game. And not only that, he's got a good head on his shoulders, especially in his family. His family is incredible. His parents are. I've seen so many of the Roebucks grow up out here. I've seen them in the football fields different times when I did some coaching out there. It's great.
I suggested to them recently they just do they need to do a master class on parenting successful kids, because they really do. They just got.
Yeah. And then something else that comes in the fall out here, which is really cool, is the pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear us talk about it all the time because we just genuinely love the pumpkin patch. I take my kids out there. They, my daughter, from the day we leave, she's asking, when are we going back?
Yeah.
Right. And here we are, and she's already asking, hey, when are we going again? When are we going? And it's like, hey, once it starts cooling down a little bit.
Well, less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Less than 2 months.
And
it's going to be open.
And the pumpkin patch is going to have pumpkins. They're going to have the sunflowers this year. Sounds like all that stuff's working out really well. So really exciting. It's just an exciting thing to do around here.
Yeah.
I think we're always looking for something else to do around here.
And it's such a unique, it's there's nothing else like it in this area.
It takes me back to like this old small town Midwest feel when you go in there, when you walk through the gate. It's just like it's a different world.
Because there are other places like it. I can think up at Dewey. You got one out of Wilcox, and there are places that sell pumpkins and have events, but nothing like what the Post family put on up at the pumpkin patch, primarily because of the train. They got a huge, I think the largest in North America train of its size that you can ride. I mean, they give rides, but then there's so many other things you can do.
Yeah.
The pumpkin launch, they've got the water you can paddle boat in. They got different kinds of rides. They've got all the stores. The
paddle boats are gone this year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember why too.
Yeah.
people were sinking paddle boats out there.
It's all about leverage, right?
The pond's still there. The paddles are gone. The amphitheater, all the little stores, and then the incredible dining hall or civic room or whatever.
Some of the best burgers I've had.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like every time we go, there's a new thing.
Yeah.
Something else added. There was all the animals had their own new section when we went there. And I went on a crazy day last year. Right before we went, I think it was probably 100 degrees, maybe. It was just really hot. But then this cold front or storm moved in or something, and we had to wear sweaters. And it was kind of raining a little bit. But we went from using the AC to using hoodies,
and you know what? That's
awesome,
that time of the year though, because by the time you get to the middle of the month, summer's pretty much over.
Yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit. But speaking of your daughter, she started playing flag football this weekend.
She did. She wanted to play flag football. She had the option of doing cheerleading or flag football, and she chose flag football. And it's through the FCA. And it's over there at Wilson in Oro Valley. Great fields, by the way. Just a great place.
Yeah.
They've got solar panels down on the field area,
cool?
so you have shade, which is really cool. And the kid, our group got to practice in the shade almost the whole time. The older kids, you're out in the sun because you're more
acclimated
to it. Yeah, perfect word. And it was just a great time. It's cool to see the coaches. Everybody
That's
involved.
another one of those great, and they're such a powerful member of our community out of Oro Valley, the Oro Valley Church of Nazarene, OVCN,
Upward
Sports, which is moving into Marana.
Yeah,
there are that whole facility is, things are underway, things are happening over there. It's behind the scenes. There's no dirt being moved at this point, but there is a lot of behind the scenes activity taking place on that property. So that'd be excited. I can't give you a time frame on when it'll be open, but sooner than it's going to fly by.
Yeah.
And that'd be another resource then for the church to use for all these sports activities for these young kids. What a program. I think last year the number was like 700. Anybody from OVCN, Nicole, or any of those folks over there want to correct me, but I think that's the number.
Yeah, there was a lot of parents and kids at this first practice. It'll dwindle a little bit as you get going. Kids, decide they don't want to be participating or whatnot, but it was packed. And
can I ask you how much it costs? Because
$100.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, I remember like growing up, like even when I was a child, that was a great price.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very minimal compared to a lot of your other leagues.
And you know what the $100 is for? To cover because there's going to be a uniform. Cover that, and we have to rent. Oro Valley Church of Nazarene has to rent those facilities,
which makes sense. There's a lot going on.
So there's a lot going on, and so imagine when we get our own facility and facilities. I don't know that the number will come down because there's probably other ways to there's more bang for your buck, but we won't be paying for our own facilities, or at least the main, because right now we have no facilities. So there's a lot of overflow. We might use overflow, but that's just such a great, how long does it last? Like 8 weeks?
It's just 8 weeks, which isn't very long. It's pretty awesome. And
And then they'll take a little short break, and they'll be back with the winter season then.
Yeah, we'll probably take a break after that. Because she's already doing some other stuff too. Yeah. So we don't want to like overwhelm. We want them to have fun. I think I've seen kids. Once when I was coaching high school ball, by the time they get up to the school that level, they're burned out, and it's really hard for you to connect with them because they've already put kind of like that barrier. Like, I've been doing this my whole.
Having of course, we're long removed from that. Our kids are grown with kids now. Mm-hmm. Our baby turned 3 months yesterday. If you're interested, there's pictures on my Facebook page. But people burn their kids out. And I talked to a lot of kids that were 16, mm-hmm. 15, 16. You could tell they weren't having fun. And I'm like, what's going on? Well, I'm just burned out.
Yeah.
Because their parents, for some reason, are pushing these kids. Hey, look, if your kid's got talent.
Can I say something on that? I'm not going to say it's every parent, but I do think and I do feel that there's parents out there to use that as a way where they don't have to parent.
Well, I'd say that's partially.
Because there is an effort and time goes into being at home with your kids and coming up with things to do together.
100%.
And I think that sometimes that's an easy way for parents to just, we're just going to get them in a sport. Someone else is going to watch them and coach them, and I can kind of just sit and hang out. And I'm not saying that's all, but I've seen it. I've seen it. So like you talking about burning out, like
there's some of that. Here's where a lot of it is, because I've been a part of that for 20 plus years now.
Ego.
There's a lot of ego. I hate to say it, but my kid's awesome. He's going to play shortstop for the Yankees.
Going to get a scholarship.
Or she's going to get a scholarship. And there'll be a few.
What is it, like 30% of all the athletes in high school go to the next level?
Yeah. If that.
And then it's like,
and so
3% go pro.
There is an ego. Having lived through that experience, it's extremely expensive. So I would say, and this has nothing to do with local, so we'll move back, but I would say those parents that are using sports and activities to help parent their children, you could figure out a lot of less expensive ways to do it if you're.
Yeah.
How about taking them to the library?
We just did that. We went to the Oro Valley Library this weekend.
Tammy, now we're talking about our kids from day one. Went to the library, had their own little backpacks, and they carried their books, and they learned responsibility. So I would encourage putting libraries on your agenda. There's a lot of other things. How about teaching them to use AI? No, I'm not going there.
Oh no,
teaching them 8 years old. Let's get these kids using AI. I'm kidding, folks. 16, you might look at it.
Shut us down.
So
another thing coming up this fall. It's big.
What's that?
The Fall Festival, Town of Marana.
Yeah.
October 18th, 2025, 2 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. That's a fun event.
Yeah.
Gone to it a couple times.
Yeah. So what is that thing Gladden Farms does? That's a Gladden Farm thing that they do over there by the farm.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Is that the same
in the
thing?
Heritage.
Okay, the Heritage Park.
Yeah. Awesome park.
That's very nice over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is fun. Lots of rides.
Food, local stuff.
Yeah, that's a great.
Always just.
When is that again?
October 18th.
Okay.
It's just always the town of Marana has such a way of doing things that you expect awesomeness, and it is. And I'm not working for them, nothing.
You don't even live. We don't. Neither one.
I'm
live
between
there.
Oro Valley and Marana, so I go to both.
You're in an island. Now.
Yeah, but you go. It's just a great event. It's easy to get parking. That's a huge thing people talk about. Like, oh man, I'm like, hey, I've never had an issue getting parking there, even when I've come late. You can find ways to get parking. The police are always out there. The volunteer police are out there trying to get people in, keeping people safe. And there's plenty of stuff to do. There's places to hang out and sit and hang out with your family. There's rides.
And by the mid-October, the temperatures are going to definitely be, if not awesome, they're going to be considerably cooler than what they are going to be this week. That's just the reality.
And if you live in Gladden Farms, you got it made because you can just walk right over there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the place to be on that event's going on. So it's just. But it's a great event. I wanted to highlight it. I know a lot of local.
And that transitions us to Oro Valley. We don't have as many of those things as we should. But
hey, the fireworks thing was pretty cool.
That was very cool.
But it was very short.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they just put them all. Well, that's great. Everybody can
Just
leave.
send it,
We're out of here. But here's some cool stuff, and we're not going to name names because I haven't seen an official announcement of any of this stuff. But there's a new, thanks to our friend Mary Murphy, councilwoman.
We're allowed to say their names. By the way.
Are we? You want to say them?
Chris was saying them this morning.
Oh, okay.
On
Well,
the
then.
show.
Well, so someone else is already. I don't mind being breaking, but I don't want to get ahead of the town. But so the town has you take it because I think you're more fluid on that.
Yeah, no, it's they developed the Oro Valley Tourism Commission and
five members.
5 members, and the host of Wake Up here at Live the Dream Media, Christopher D. Simone, was selected as one of the commissioners for that, and he's very, very excited. And then
very, very qualified.
Very qualified. So a lot of people talk about Chris's show, and there's some stigma about topics and stuff. But one thing I've learned about Chris over the years, getting to know him, is his true passion and desire to help promote local business and to help this place thrive and to get customers into restaurants. And he's been involved in a lot of programs with
his background's hospitality. That was his education. That's where he came out of the gate, was working in hotels and restaurants and stuff. So it's
and then Mark Van Buren, who's also somebody that is known as the movie guy that comes on Friday on Chris's show. He's also from the hospitality industry and worked at Marriott, I think, for a long time in different capacities.
Long career in the
he's
industry.
on the commission with him as well.
So that's going to be very helpful. So hopefully, as we sit here this time next year,
there was another name I forgot it. It's like Tony something I forgot, but there's somebody else he mentioned on his show. So you want to go back and watch? He talked about it, I think, this morning.
So as we move into next year, hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about as far as fall events that are signature to Oro Valley.
Mm-hmm. So Marana did something really cool like this. It was like the Citizens. I can't remember, and I feel bad. I'm sorry, but it was a forum. It was a citizens forum, and there was the topics we discussed were tourism and getting the message out to citizens and how to be better, different things. And you right away saw them putting that all into practice. Like it felt like the next day. Like they were putting out more social media stuff. They were working a lot harder on doing display things, street things, and then really doubling down on the events and what they were doing with them and how they were going to grow them. And I think that forum helped provide an outside perspective on like, hey, this would help. And I think that you can't lose when you do that. When you get your people involved that have experience and have been doing things like this for a while, it really helps.
Well, let's echo what you just said, the people involved. That's everyone. Your elected officials, your appointed officials, selected officials, all the bureaucrats, everyone in the community should play a role in this. And if you think that you've got an idea or you want to help or you want to encourage, because it's one thing to say we need to have more stuff.
Yeah.
Well, everybody says that. They've been saying that since I was a kid. We need more stuff for our kids to do. We need more forever. But you need to be involved in making that happen. You either need to suggest some ideas, go to these meetings.
Civilly.
Well, yeah.
We've seen
I'm working with everything is done civilly. We're gonna assume it's civil, but and please be civil about this. But be involved in these sit-ups, sit on these boards, sit on these committees, and be involved in the council meetings. Volunteer for some of this stuff. Right? Be a part of it. I think that's huge. It is. Because you're encouraging more people to get involved. And the people that you have influence with, you can get them more involved.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing for sure I want to shout out. Our buddy, our mutual friend, longtime friend of mine, Rick Peralt, and Corey, his son Corey, will be back this October at Sports Park with a baseball tournament. The first time that Top Choice / USSSA with the Peralts has been here.
Wow.
Probably in close to 20 years. That's
20 years.
Yeah,
wow.
That's where I met. Actually, I didn't meet him there, but I saw when Corey was, 11, 12 years old. I've seen him play a lot of games over there. By the way, the Tucson Wildcats that Rick coached, they were good.
Well, I remember going with you up there
they were good.
Gilbert to watch the play of these events. Man. That's some competitive baseball, dude.
Yeah, 12, 13 years
fast.
old. Yeah, fast paced.
It was really, really fast.
And some really good. But again, I've seen a few guys. I can drop a name or two. Bellinger, Harper. There's a whole list. Zach Davis and different guys. Matter of fact, there was one kid this year that was taken 10th in the big league draft. I can't remember his name.
And he went through the
and he played through there. So there's been a lot of them play there over the last 25 years. I've known Rick a lot, but at the end of the day, you could count them on 2 or 3 hands. The guys that really went on to have Bellinger and Harper right now. I can't think of that kid's name. Davis. It was a pitcher for the Diamondbacks for a while. But again, back to that when we were talking parents and your kids, most kids are not going to. You're just not going to play at a higher level than college, and that's cool. Get an education, but this should be, for me, it should always be about fun first.
Yeah. So you put a lot of pressure on the kids
at 8, 9, 10 years old. And I would always say to a lot of the parents, can you hit him? Because I don't think you can. Give little Junior a break there. Because you know what? I tried it a few times and I played ball. I tried it. I put my money where my mouth was. Yeah. It's a lot tougher, especially if you haven't played for a while. It's a lot tougher than what you think it is.
Yeah.
And lay off the umpires. They're not getting paid much.
Yeah, come on.
Now, professional umpires, you can boo them all you want.
Yeah.
So
going back to the citizens' involvement, I do want to say thanks to Patty Comerford, Councilwoman Comerford, for helping me get on that. She had mentioned me to be on that program, and I was part of it, and I participated and provided some insight, and I learned a lot. You learn a lot because you get an inside scoop on how the meetings flow and what's necessary and how things need to be documented for them, and what the next process is, and how the presentation goes to council, and then what the council does with it after that, and then how the ideas are implemented into the workflow of the government, which is really, really cool. So it's like it was like a free civics class, on top of that, because it's good to get in tune with what's going on and how things work. Because I think a lot of people, you see it on social media, the stuff they comment and say, and you're like, oh, well, that's just not how it works.
Yeah.
But that's, cool idea, but go learn.
Well, and you should go. We've been going a lot because of different things, especially in Oro Valley and Marana. You should go. And if you can't go, then
Live stream it.
Both councils, and it's every other week. Marana's is on Tuesday. Oro Valley's is on Wednesday. It's every other week. You don't have to. You can watch it from the comfort of your home. You can still participate in the meeting. You can text a message in or send a message in that will be asked, or go live. Going live is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And if you got something you want to say, get a blue card. Be respectful. Use your 3 minutes wisely. And participate in your community. But because I'm kind of like voting.
Yeah.
If you're not voting, then we don't need to hear from you. but then take it one step further. If you voted and you selected some of these people, now go get involved a little bit. It's too easy to just defer it to your elected officials or your bureaucrats. And, that really, you should be more, again, be respectful. Don't go in there hammering people, but be kind to people. Go in, ask questions. They'll answer them. You might not always get the answer you want.
Yeah.
Because I don't always get the answer I want. And I call these people and, hey, no, we can't do that because of this or because of that. I was told no this morning because of timing. Can't do that. Why? Well, I'm busy. Well, okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
But you need to get to know your elected officials and bureaucrats, because then it's easier to work with friends and people that you know and respect. Rather, because I just see, and this is again outside the Oro Valley, Marana, but it's everywhere. We've just become this group of people that's really hostile to anybody that we disagree with, and we got to stop that. We as neighbors, we got to do a better job of being kind to each other and start finding ways to work together rather than trying to find reasons to keep putting each other off. I always say, build a bridge. You got one thing you'll agree with.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Something pretty cool we learned over the last week was that the Marana Airport is going to get a tower, right? But chill
pump
out.
Pump the brakes,
guys, gals, people, everybody. There is no commercial program going in there. I mean, there doesn't sound like
not now.
Not right now.
Maybe in time.
But there's not. It had to do with the runway sizes and different things like that. But there was a question that came up in something that the mayor was at speaking, and the tower's coming, which is great for safety and other things. But as far as like people having the idea that they're going to be able to drive to the Marana Airport and jump on a commercial flight and get out of town, that's not the reality right now. And still seeing people on social media like, when is American Airlines going to be? It's like it's not right now. So jet up to Phoenix.
I'm going to correct.
I
think I need to correct something you said. It wasn't so much the length.
It's the width.
It's the width of the runways.
Right. The width, yeah.
The length's fine. It's the width. They're just not wide enough to handle commercial. They could land a big plane there, but only in emergency situations. So, will it come? Give us 20 years, we'll see.
Yeah.
But if it happened, I think it would happen with a brand new facility somewhere a little north of there would be I'm just spitballing. But not that there's not enough ground there, but if you're going to build a new airport, wouldn't you just kind of like start from scratch rather than blow up an old one and build there?
Maybe.
Yeah. I could see in your lifetime for sure that there might be one there because
that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of almost not completely equal, but I'm almost same distance to Sky Harbor as I am Tucson International. Because I can be in Sky Harbor in 85 minutes, and they've redone that whole area around there. It's crazy. I'm almost an hour to Tucson International. So
if you're flying out of Tucson,
you're limited here. By the way,
it's a gamble sometimes.
Yeah, I've had them canceled, not postponed.
It's
canceled.
Like, we're not doing.
We're just not flying today.
Yeah, you try to dig the fly Tucson.
Love you, John, out there, my good buddy John Voorhees. We love you, man. But I was working him the other day. I need a direct flight to Boise. I mean.
I still try when I can. I live close enough where it's still worth it.
To Boise?
No, to drive to Tucson.
Yeah,
to the airport. I'm still close enough to.
Well, even us, we're going to see the baby next month, and
where you guys been flying out of the Mesa or out of the?
No, we've been flying. Our kids fly out of Mesa, but they're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah,
and it's again a math thing. You fly into Mesa now. Somebody's got to go get you, bring you back. Then somebody's got to take you and take you back. So now we've got 6 hours plus invested in moving you here, whereas you can lay over in Salt Lake for 1 hour and we can pick you up here. So we're saving 1 hour plus an hour drive. So we're saving 4 to 6 hours.
Okay.
In the car. I'm a math guy that way. It's just the way I work it. So here's what we're going to do, kids.
Yeah.
And they're all in favor of that. No one wants to fly into Mesa and then drive another hour and a half. But when we've flown recently, it was out of Sky Harbor. One time because we had to, they canceled this flight, so we had to race up there to catch the flight we were supposed to fly up to get.
Come on, man.
That ain't right.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I don't.
So, real quick plug. Next week, we are going to be privileged to have Councilwoman Mary Murphy and Chief of Police Kara Riley in studio doing a podcast with us.
Some OV folks in the studio. There we go.
Yeah. There we go. Then I'm going to be gone a week. I don't know who you'll have on the 18th, but
it's a secret.
Then we'll be back. We've got John Officer, Councilman in Marana. We've got Roxanne Ziegler, a Vice Mayor. We've got Mayor Joe Winfield. We got Beyer and Malini back from Oro Valley. So we got a whole list of people coming up into mid to late September that we've got on the schedule so far. So that's pretty cool. We got some really. We'll have John back again.
Yeah.
But it's and not just that. We got a couple of business owners that we're going to talk to that are in Marana, Oro Valley. That are especially small business owners. They're just the backbone. I know you would expect me to say that, being a small business operator, but small businesses, I can prove it mathematically. They are the backbone of American society, and we just seem like we just continue to lose more and more and more small businesses. A lot of them in the hospitality industry, which is tough to keep. I mean, we've lost a bunch this summer, here in Tucson. They just can't survive the
prices
summer.
of everything going all crazy and the fluctuations.
I won't mention where I bought it, but it was a large corporation, a fast food restaurant. And I bought breakfast for 6 people the other day, and it was a lot of 2-for-1s. How is a small operator going to operate when I'm getting 2-for-1 and I fed 6 people for $17? How's a small operator do that? It's just, and I don't have the solution to that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just tough, especially in the food industry. So support your local.
Well, we had that talk.
And I was guilty of shopping at a fast food restaurant myself in the first place.
I went on a show with Ron at Southwest Flavor, and we were talking about AI. And there's going to be a huge transition in the hospitality industry where you're not going to have a hostess. You're not going to have waiters, waitresses, or none of that's going to exist here probably the next 5-10 years.
We see that.
So you're going to see you're going to be able to see maybe some longer surviving small businesses in that realm that can bring on the technology to do that. And the technology is really not that expensive to make it happen. Surprisingly,
you see that everywhere now, both large and small business. One of our favorite, again, I won't call them by name, but there's you order it at a kiosk, and it's a small business. They just replaced, and that's fine. I get it. They're doing it for financial reasons.
Yeah,
when you're running a limited staff, you've eliminated one person that's making $12, $14, $15 an hour, 40 hours a week, with a machine that probably a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's practical. When Tammy and I first started the bakery, everything was done with a rolling pin. Well, you just can't
sustain that.
Can't sustain that. And we bought a couple of pieces of equipment that still sat over there. Between the two of them, it might have been $3,000 or $4,000. So think about it. In 2 weeks of labor, plus we were doing most of the labor. There's no way to sustain. Rolling thousands of cookies with pins, and then you have not only the physical tear, but you've got now if I'm using a machine, I'm producing the same quality or the same size cookies in this case.
Yeah,
everything's the same. My icing's the same, my cookie's the same, everything's the same size. Because if you're rolling it by hand, it's like a snowflake. None of the cookies are ever exactly the same as far as depth.
Yeah,
because and they're bigger in most cases because I don't want to roll that extra 3. I thought I was having a heart attack one year at Christmas, and I'm like, I don't want to die on Christmas. That would suck. And then I'm like, I think it was because we just did 8,000 cookies last week, and I was rolling that rolling pin. So I don't knock people for doing it. I get it, reason why, but that is and they're going to be flipping burgers too, them robots. And the thing is, they're never late. They're never on time. I mean, they're always on time. So there are some advantages, I get it, to doing that. If you're a business owner, the small guy's going to have a hard time transitioning to that, though, that robotic staff.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think you're still going to see, you're going to see waiters and waitresses, just not at the volume you did.
Yeah. I think that whole thing is there already is certainly, we'll finish with a little AI. There's already certainly some industries being affected dramatically by AI. There's no doubt about that.
When I went on that episode with Ron, we were talking about the top 40 that were already, and and we talked about how many positions were in the U.S. and that were affected. And the number one was, what do you think number one was?
Something clerical. Some kind of data entry person or taker.
Interpreters.
Okay.
That was number one.
Hey, I had an experience with that personally, real quick. Ballpark. asking the young lady as we leave how long it takes to leave.
Yeah.
Or for her to clean up, her crew to clean up our ball game. I could tell she didn't understand me. So I was waiting for you guys to come out of the bathroom, I believe. And I was so impressed by this. She grabbed her phone, typed in, wanted me to type in what I'd ask her. She held it up to her, something Espanol. And we were able to, with our phones, I was able to ask her all along. 8 hours, by the way, to clean up after a ball game.
Wow. How cool is that?
But how cool. It took, and it was her ingenuity, but took seconds for me to be able to chat with this young lady.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. Interpreters was number one. And then on the flip side, I think it was phlebotomists and nurses connected was one of the top that was not going to be affected.
Yeah.
And it mentioned phlebotomy in particular because there's a sense of feeling and knowing where the veins are and how to get to where you need to go with the needle. And I'm like, oh man, I didn't think of that. You know, you would think about other ones. And then pretty much everything trade related. Good. Roofers, cement workers, all that stuff.
Contractors, but the clerical stuff, the stuff that's repeated over and over and over. Yeah. You know what? We've been doing it for a long time, David. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of old TV shows, and they used to have the file cards, right? And they're getting the files out and the cards out. Nobody's doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's on a computer system. So we eliminated all those jobs a long time ago.
Yeah. It was a good conversation with Ron because Ron's in the trades. He owns they do HVAC work, plumbing. They do like all heating, cooling, all that, right? So they're in it. And hearing that those weren't going to be...
No, they're protected.
It was almost like we talked about this whole reset of the workforce, right? So everybody that was in the whole idea, like, I'm just going to have a, at home office job, or I'm going to go work an office job. A lot of those are going to disappear. And there's a lot of career fields that are suffering really bad with staffing, in particular, first responders, public safety, construction, different things. Well, a lot of folks are going to go, well, that's where the work's available.
Yep.
And
electricians,
and you get into that, and that's where there's a potential for all these trades and other like in public safety that have suffered in recruiting over the next couple of years to really have a good crop to pick from and actually get staffing levels back where they need to be.
I think you're dead on.
Which will be interesting.
Well, guys, that was a quick hour.
It was.
Hope we informed you of a little bit of stuff, entertained you a little bit while we were doing it.
Yeah.
What's the name of your daughter's team?
Falcons.
The Falcons. Go Falcons!
Yeah, go Falcons.
She was so cute yesterday. We were talking to her. She was so excited about what she was doing. That's so cool.
She's excited.
For full disclosure, she's 4 years old, and she's going to be a wide receiver, I guess.
She might. Her dad was. So her dad played. He was all right.
I can see it. Yeah. That's good. Hey, thank you guys. We appreciate you so much. Tune in again next week.
Shay.
Yeah, thank you, Shay. Shay, great job as usual, guys. Tune in next week. We're going to have Councilwoman Murphy and Chief of Police Riley with us here in studio. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Two great leaders. Looking forward to seeing them. Guys, have a great week. Be nice to each other. Just not that hard if you try.